Hi everyone, today is Saturday, January the 27th, 2024, and I want to discuss some things with you guys. Today I'm going to discuss concerning the thing that's happening to me when I'm on YouTube, and every now and then I surf a little. And lately, I surfed a couple of times, and for some reason, which is unusual that I get to do, Yeshua kept letting me see something, a pattern of something, and that is that the divination is back, the tarot cards, the false prophesying. And I seen a lot of Israelites have gotten tied up into this mess. I'm disappointed, Israel, that you guys were down here at the end, the time of the tribulation, and Satan is trying to get you off track and have you doing things that God did not call you to do. And we know in Israel that the thing that Yeshua said for us is this: thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And divination is a sin. The witch of Endor is proof of that in the Bible. And I'm very disappointed that you guys have gotten off track. I love you. You're Israel. And some of you will drop it once God make it known to you. You will get embarrassed and you will drop it and trash it and walk away from it. And you will go back to your roots that you grew up on, and you will take it back to God, because some of you know the right way. Even though you've erred, you know the right way. You know how to backtrack, because some of you are sheep. And you'll find your way back, because Jesus says, my sheep hear my voice, and none other will they follow. And you will find your way back to Him. It would take no time. Some of you have gotten blinded due to seducing spirits. Speaking doctrines of demons will come through this act of divination, playing with the tarot cards. This is all demonic. It's satanic. It's satanic arts. But the Kahel support some jade for Haiti Becky that he definitely had to be to Becky Happy Daddy or boards the candins. Is sure the cans to bear to carry happy chappy decky happy dappy the care the copy dahi up dawn and jammy the kin. Jahis down. Yeshua would even agree to tell you it's satanic art. In the spiritual realm, the demonic entities, the ones that have fallen, the fallen angels, they play with these things. They've come to me, and they have used these arts in the spiritual realm on me. Not tarot cards, but they have demonic arts. It's blasphemous, Yeshua say. They have used these blasphemous arts to attack me as witchcraft. And they will acknowledge as witchcraft, is satanic, and they will acknowledge that it's satanic and call it satanic. They worship Satan. These particular entities have no problem saying they worship Satan. And they get mad and argue with Yeshua, and they want to stand in his presence and worship Satan. And Yeshua tells them, no, you get you hence, you get out of my presence. You do not come in my presence and dishonor and disrespect me and use clip arts in the spiritual realm. Is different from clip arts in the earth. They call it. It's blasphemous, it's satanic arts. And it's deep witchcraft, and it kills. It is a deadly witchcraft that these entities at a certain time of the year use when they attack individuals, when they're working roots. And the spiritual realm, they go too deep when they work witchcraft at times. they, to me, go too deep. At least on me, they did. They went too deep. But they say, the angels have said they usually don't go that deep. Even Yeshua said on a sheep. But on me, they went extremely deep. And I mean deep on me. When I tell you the gross deep. I want to say, when you open yourself up doing these tarot cards and you think that you're hearing from God, God will not contradict his word, and he will not go against himself. He's not a lying spirit. And if you see in the Bible, the Witch of Endor, she got deceived and she deceived. So you're being deceived and you're deceiving. And when you open yourself up like that, when you go use these arts, these tarot cards, you do these things out of gullibleness, playing with them, and you open a door in the spiritual realm, and the demonic entity will see you. And it sees that you're playing like that, and it will see you, and it will begin to sift you like wheat. And it will try to test you, even though it has not had permission from God to test you and sift you like wheat. It will do it anyways, and leap on you and start lying to you and deceiving you, saying things, and you think you're hearing from God. Now, this thing that I saw, some of you guys were trying to mix prophecy with the tarot cards. That's blasphemous. That's witchcraft. The tarot card stuff is witchcraft. And God is not the author of confusion. Confusion is of the devil. And the word says that. And that is a lie to accuse, to mix Jesus with satanic practices. Well, it's not hard to see you're in error. Those of you that don't want to swallow your pride and you battle with God on this thing, or you battle with the sheep or the chosen ones, God do not care. He will put you down. He will put you in your place, and he will tell you, you understood my word. You see my word. You know the difference between good and evil. As he told me one day that when he created Adam, he said, when Adam reached forth and he gave Adam the power of choice, he said Adam reached forth and put his hand to the light. He gave him the choice to choose between the light and the dark. He reached forth and put his hand to the light. When Adam did this thing, he said he knew mankind could make it. And he knew that there was good in him. So you guys, when you play with these tarot cards, you have the power of choice. You open yourself up to the unclean spirit. The unclean spirit, you are willing yourself to it. It will come and play with you, and it will deceive you, and then it will cause you to deceive others. Now, when you deceive someone else, their blood is on your hand. If you lead that soul to hell, you will burn even worse when your time comes to burn. So you have to back yourself down and say, I'm in error. I'm going astray from the word. And God is a God of goodness, a God of light. He's not a God that participates in witchcraft. He doesn't go to the devil because he created the devil. He's above the devil. And he's a God of light, not darkness. The Bible says there is no darkness in him. So he doesn't participate in unclean acts. And I'm disappointed that a lot of Israelites have gotten caught up in this. I love you guys. I love you. Some of you will be rescued from this. And even the Gentiles are in it. And some of you will be rescued from this too. But there are those of you that Satan, you're his portion, and you will ignore what is spoken, and you will make up in your mind that you will do this thing your way, and you will prosper in your mind. You say to yourself, and I say to you, you'll not prosper, you'll end up in hell. because you are being deceived. You will get blinded. And Yeshua says that he will send you strong delusion that you may believe a lie and be damned because you love not the truth. This is scriptural, okay? So wake up, everybody that's tapping into that. If you're going there and you're feeding into that and listening at that garbage, you tell them, no, I don't think so. Bye, Satan. Get you hence. I rebuke you. It's a lie. You can't mix the spirit of prophecy with tarot cards. That's the spirit of air. That's the Jezebel spirit. That's the spirit of false prophecy. That's Baal prophesying. Because the Baal prophets were doing that. They were mixing witchcraft and satanic sacrifice in with their prophesying. So that's a Baal prophet, I call it. If a charlatan is what it is. That's what Yeshua would say. Yeshua got mad at this entity the other day, and he was fussing at the entity, and he said to the entity, what are you doing here on her? Why are you here? You're a spirit of deception. He said, I didn't tell you to come here. You're not even supposed to be on the Christian. And he said to the entity, you're not supposed to be on the Christian. You were told that and know that. He said, get up and move, get up and leave, get off her. You're not supposed to be here. And he called him a charlatan. It's just a knockoff prophet. A false prophet. See, you guys, I love you, but I want you to wake up, and I want you to understand the tribulation is at the door, and because the tribulation is at the door, you have no time for error. This is time for us to clean ourselves up and get back in line and get in good standing with Yeshua and Yahweh. We owe him this. He's coming back, you guys, for war. Have you seen this? Have you studied the scripture? Do you realize that the king is coming back for war? He's coming back to go to war with the Gentile nations for what they did to Israel. Study the scriptures and you'll understand the battle of Armageddon. It's not going to be a pretty sight on that day. He's already told me. So you guys wake up. And he takes no pleasure in the death of anyone that he created. I was asking him last week, and I say to him, how does it make you feel when you have to cast a soul down into the fire? He told me it hurts. He said, I hate having to tell it to do that, to cast it in the fire. He said, because I created it out of love. I made that entity, and I don't want to have to destroy it. It hurts me. So you guys, don't do the thing that you do. If you hear him speaking today, but John Tebeririki through me, I'm asking you to turn away from the tarot card stuff and walk away from that. They did this thing years ago, real bad in the 80s and 90s. It was all over TV so bad it was sickening. And I was glad the government backed them down and made them go into hiding and stop that. And now they're bringing it back, which is because it's time for the Antichrist to stand during the tribulation. His time has come, and the restrainer is being removed. And because of this, they will indulge in witchcraft, sorcery, tarot cards, things of that nature. They will indulge in satanic practices. And so they're setting the stage to bring that stuff back into play for his rule and reign, because he will do the homosexual stuff. All of that goes with that. But you guys, don't get caught up in that. You know the truth. You know what scripture says. Don't get caught up in that. Walk away from that. I'll leave the scriptures at the end of this video. I usually always leave a set of scriptures at the end of the video to go along with the video. so that you can look these scriptures up and study them concerning the message in the video. So I will put about the Witch of Endor in there. Many of you have read this, or in Israel, where Yeshua says if someone's caught working witchcraft, that they were told to take them out and stone them to death. This is written in scripture. And he will not tolerate that. It's blasphemous, the things that a witch does. So stay away from the tarot cards. That's demonic art, is what I call it. Look at the card. You'll see the art on there. It's the thing that the spirits are doing in the spiritual realm. They took it and put it in the form of a tarot card, because in the spiritual realm, they draw images on theirs too. They plaque it, and it's square, and it's pretty much about like the tarot card, but it's demonic art, and it's so gross. Some of the stuff they put on there that they design and do, if you see, it would make you thrive, and you feel like your flesh, you chill so hard, your skin would crawl, and it would instantly, if you see it, cause you to melt down. And the Holy Spirit, if you're saved, in you would quicken you so hard, and the angel or the Holy Spirit would begin to rebuke the thing. It's instant. He would say defilement and start shaking your hand to shake it off. That's what he does to me. When in the spiritual realm, an angel sees something too defiled, when they play with these arts and they do these things, it's so disgusting, and some of the stuff is too defiled, and when they see it, if it's too defiled, they melt, and they collapse, they just melt from it. They thrive, and it's disgusting. And Yeshua would tell them instantly, get up and get unto me at the throne and come and rinse. They have to rinse in the glory, because the images, or some of them, are too defiled to look at, and it's so gross, it's disgusting. This thing happened concerning me this week, the day before yesterday. There was an incident with the angels, and the entity came to me attacking me, and it was flecking some gross images, so disgusting. I was so irritated. I had to hide under the covers, and the angel was thriving, and they were melting. And one angel was standing talking to me, and he just melted, like collapsed. And he was saying quickening, and it just, I began to scream and tell the Holy Ghost in me, help him, don't let him collapse like that. And he told him, get up and get unto me, fly up and fly unto me. And he began to tell the others to come. You have to rinse in the glory, because it was too defiled to look at the stuff he was showing, flecking at us. It was so gross. It was just simply too defiled. And he, with me, in an instance like this, usually Yeshua would purge the area with the glory. And he used to, years ago with me, he would, when they would do things, and it never got to this that I saw is the worst, I think, that I have ever seen concerning a matter like this, but it's nothing new that they've done things like this in my presence. It's nothing new. And in the past, when they've done things like this, Yeshua would purge me with the glory. And he would make me stay in bed and sit while he just make me soak and purge in the glory. The angels' presence, have me sit in their presence real rich and they pulled the glory real rich for hours and hours, sometimes that whole day. But when I say to you about collapse, I say to you that if you think they can't faint, please, they do. I know many things. I have seen many things. They can faint. Angels can faint. You guys, there's a lot of things you don't know concerning angels. And when I tell you I've witnessed many things, because I'm the bride, he opened the gate to me, and I have witnessed a lot of things that people think don't have no idea exist or are going on. But you're defiling your temple by playing with these cards, with these wicked arts. If you knew the entities behind these things would kill you, they have waxed so strong now. They are stronger than a human, and these big entities that come to me, they are so strong. They're strong enough to attack me physically and kill me. So I know if they can attack me and hit me and do things like that, that you guys do not open yourself up to things like that, because during the tribulation, if you take the mark of the beast and you do these things, he will let these strong entities come through there and attack you and whoop your behind and destroy you and kill you. They're so strong. If you've seen the things they do and the weapons they wield, they use weapons that you think they don't have access to, and technology that you think they don't have access to. Well, they do. Open your eyes to the truth. They have a lot of technology in the spiritual realm that many humans do not know that they have. I didn't even know about a lot of this stuff that they have. I didn't know about until this happened to me, and I began to see the weaponry and the technology and the things that they use, and I say I did not know this existed in the spiritual realm. And they fight so dirty, and they do not care that you're female. They beat the females worse than the male, because it's a lot of homosexuality in the spiritual realm. So the male might get by a lot more than the female. But during the end times, during the tribulation, that's not going to be so. These entities will whoop their behinds and care less. But they pulled out some stuff, and they could hit them with it one blow and kill them instantly on the spot. If you could see the things that I have witnessed. And I know behind many of the car wrecks that were happening really, really bad some months ago, a few months ago, there were so many car wrecks. I kept passing by in the city and the hotels. I mean, not the hotels, but in the city, and on the highways. Yeah. And I would see coming out from work, cars flipped over. And when these cars were flipped over, I could see the family members. I'd see whole families standing outside with the police officers, and I would say the angels are there. Yeshua had them there protecting them, because the entities had come. A lot of them have come forth before the time. And because they have done this thing, these are huge entities. They've snuck into the earth through portals and realms and through the gates. Some are getting passage coming through the gates. And they are strong entities. They have come and brought these weapons and things in the spiritual realm into the earth, and they fighting in the air and on the ground and playing with these weapons with each other, going to war with each other, attacking each other. And these things, when that stuff drops and hit, it is so big, it is so humongous. My goodness, it's something big enough for an entity 36 feet. These entities are big like that. They're very big like that. And because of that, they're not small. They're 22, 17, 36 feet, big entities. So they play big, and that stuff was falling out the sky. And when it was falling out, it was hitting the cars, and it was so many wrecks with crushed cars. And Yeshua had to keep the angels there to protect the family members and stuff. That's why many walked away unscathed, because he had to get them to clean up the mess and push them back underneath the earth and into the deep, because they were too big to be here, but they were not supposed to have come forth before the time, and some were not supposed to have come forth at all into the earth. And they wasn't supposed to be playing with these objects and fighting and the weaponry. And they were attacking. I mean, it was killing people, because they're fighting like this, doing this in the midst of humanity. And because the people can't see, most of them are not even aware and didn't know what was happening, why it was happening. Well, I knew, because when it fell on my vehicle, I felt it. I seen it. They were tearing up stuff so bad, it was sickening, disgusting. And they dropped some stuff on metal so heavy it felt like it weighed 1,000, 2,000 pounds. They kept coming to me, dropping stuff like that on my car, on my being, on my body. And they would cause my vehicle to come to a stop, and I'd have to pull over because the metal was so heavy. And one time I was driving, and they actually began to tried to pick the car up off the road, and it began to lift up, and Yeshua had the angel attack them to make them back down and get away from the vehicle and put the vehicle down. Stop. You guys, I've been in the midst of some stuff. I could tell you some things. You hear me? Some things. And they caused me, because the metal is so heavy, they attacked my vehicle, dropping that metal so huge. It cost me $1,000 to get my car fixed, because they were playing in the air and doing foolish stuff like that and dropping that stuff. That stuff was falling on my vehicle. $1,000, and Yeshua was angry. So, I tell you, there are a lot of things that are happening on the earth, and I know why it's happening, because I'm in the midst of it, and I know what's causing it. Because unlike you guys, the reason I suffer so much is because I live behind the scenes. And because I live behind the scenes, I can feel all these things. I feel the weaponry, and sometimes I go to walk and I can't even walk into a store or something, because I can feel what the people can't feel, and they walk through, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you can't feel what I feel. And I'm like, they got a huge chunk of metal. It is so big, and it hurts so bad, and it can't pass through my body, and I'm in pain because this thing can't pass through. And I have to tell Yeshua, I say, Yeshua, there's something here, it's too big, and I can't walk through it, and it hurts so bad. I have to back down, and I stop, and I freeze, and I tell him, I can't walk through that. And the angel have to hit it and change the form and make it thin and dissipate it so I can walk through. This is coming. I'm used to stuff like that. That happens to me all the time. But I'm just saying to you guys that put the wicked arts down, you guys. I love you, but put it down. And don't mix prophecy with that. That's an abomination, to put the profane with the fame. To put the profane with the good. These things are profane that you play with. And to go and label that something good, to go and mix that with prophecy, which is good, it's a lie. It's an abomination. It's blasphemy to go mix the profane with the good. So do not do that, and do not call evil good and good evil. You guys are going around and you're calling evil good and good evil. And because you're going around calling evil good and good evil, Satan has deceived many of you, and he has blinded you, playing with these things, wicked arts. And you have to ask God to give you eyes to see, ears to hear, and light of understanding, so that you can wake up and come back to him, to the knowledge of the truth, because that's the only way you will come out of deception, is to come to the knowledge of the truth. The truth breaks the ice. The truth removes all lies. You hear me? And this is no time for us to walk in deception and eat lies. But you guys, if you knew what I knew and what I've experienced, you would not be playing with those arts, because it puts a label on your back for those strong entities that are coming in the earth and are already here. They've already arrived in the earth and are doing things right in front of you guys. But if you don't have the gift to be able to feel them like me and walk behind the scenes, if you don't have that type of gift, you can't feel it, and I can feel it, and you could be standing next to me, and I think, whoa, if you only knew and you don't know, wow, you're lucky that you can't. But at the same time, it's not so good sometimes, because you can't defend yourself either. So, there have been I have had many altercations with foreign entities. The alien has stalked me for years. You know how I, years ago, had an encounter with one. With the ones they show with the big light bulb head and the big orc eyes, black eyes. One of those manifested and came to me one day in my apartment years ago. And when I say, what is this? He didn't speak, and then he faded out. And years later, a couple of years ago, I'd say maybe about 4 years ago, that one of the alien entities said to me, he spoke to an angel, and the angel translated it to me, and he called me by my nickname when he did this. And I say, who calls me that? I say, the demonics don't usually call me by that, because not all knew that at that time was my nickname. And this particular entity said to me, it acknowledged it was an alien, and it said to me, we've been watching you for years. So they knew I was the bride, and that's why they had been stalking me. And he said to me, he described the vehicle I had years ago at that time, the house, the apartment that I lived in, and everything. And when he did this, he say, we watched and we monitor for years you. We don't do anything, but we study you, and that's it. The alien likes to study, and it will tamper. Many people have been attacked by the alien, because it likes to play in the being. It's bad about that. It's gay. That I know, Yeshua say, but Yeshua hates and despises the alien. It likes to tamper with the being. So when you hear people say, some people say, you've heard stories say, I was kidnapped and they did this and that. They were studying my being and they had these devices. They do have these devices and they do study the being. They like to probe the being. They love probing. And Yeshua had to whoop and beat their behinds to make them stop doing that. The government know about these things. It's nothing new. But they were studying me. They never touched me, even though they were studying me. They knew I was the bride. That's why they knew before I knew. They knew who I was before I knew who I was. At that time, I did not know. And the Nephilim, there was a Nephilim, I'd say, maybe 3 years ago, I want to say, maybe. There was an encounter that I had with the Nephilim, had picked up my trail and was stalking me. And Yeshua, the angel, was seeing it, and the angel began to rebuke him and tell him one day, that's it, that's enough, don't come no closer. You can't study her, stop following her. And he said he was going to blind him to me where he could not see me, and remove the memory of me from him, because he said, you cannot come to her. You have to go back. You cannot come. And Yeshua was angry at this Nephilim, and he rebuked him and told him, don't come, go back. You cannot come to her. So I've been stalked by the Nephilim. They're aware of me. They're in the earth. Let's see, it's so many things. I'm trying to pick and choose. I know I have to go home soon. And you guys, because I know I have to go home soon, I'm trying to share some of the secret things with you guys. Because there are some things I see certain saints talk about that they will have dreams and visions about. And I'm like, that very thing that you dreamed and that vision that you had is actually true behind the scenes, because I'm a witness to it. And some people will say, you're lying, you're crazy to them. And I'm thinking, they're not lying, they're not crazy, because I'm actually living it and witnessing it. I will say to you, the big beings that are in the earth. This I will say to you, that they've already, Yeshua has already, I think I mentioned this in a past prophecy, a couple of prophecies back, about they've already started setting the stage for the tribulation, because it's at the door. He has already given orders and commands to some of the angels and some of the demonics to go out, and they're setting things up to get ready to go to battle for the tribulation. They're getting in place and they're taking their armies. There are demonics that have armies. And there are angels that have armies, and they're going to battle. Some of the demonics will take down other demonic armies, and then some demonics would help take down Obama's army in the end. And there's a demonic entity. He will go against Obama's army for Yeshua. He's going to help defeat his army, and he's doing this on Yeshua's behalf. He has a big army, this demonic entity, and this entity Yeshua is going to also use when Satan is bound during the 1,000-year millennium. This particular demonic entity will go forth, and he will fight against Satan when he's bound. He's going to mark it on his head, and he's going to attack him. And this entity hates Satan with a passion. You hear me? His army, I think, is 10,000. He hates him with a passion, and this particular entity, Satan, cannot overcome. He has no power over this entity because Yeshua said he never subjugated that entity to Satan, and he never gave Satan power over that entity. That entity will overcome Satan and defeat Satan. They hate each other, and him, even though Satan will be bound, this entity will not be in hell. He will be in the earth because he will be used to do something with the Gentiles concerning Israel and marketing and getting people to come through music to Jerusalem. This thing I understand. If you guys don't understand, let it go. Don't wrestle with it, because I know behind the scenes what these things mean. I understand that is something in the future there that will happen during the millennial reign. This entity has no beef. It's not beefing with Yeshua. It has no beef. It actually works, even though it's a demonic entity. It has its army. It's under Yeshua's command because this one works for him. There are demonic entities in the spiritual realm, although they're demonic, that do work for Yeshua and do his bidding. And then there are those that fight against Yeshua and they hate him. And I want to share something with you guys, that your God is God, but your God is a king, but your God is human, and you're human. Behind the scenes, you're Yeshua, you're Jesus, you're Yahweh. They fight with the entities and they argue on your behalf with the entities. When these entities come forth and attack you and they go behind the scenes, he argues just like a regular human with the entity. The entities have smart mouths. They talk trash to Yeshua and tell him, bye, I don't need it, you dumb. And you're God? And say, bye. And say, well, I'll not do. And talk trash to him, and then they false accuse Yeshua of stuff and tell him, I don't like you. And Yeshua tell them, they say, you this, you that, you that. He say, oh, I am? I did? Oh, really? Oh, did I? I did that? And he tell them when they're done, and they say, I don't need. And he say, oh, yeah, guess what? I don't need you either. You can go down in hell. And he say, bye, and click off the conversation. And sometimes Yeshua will sit there and argue with the entity and mouth battle with the entity and take his time and tell it all this stuff he will do to it. And I tell Yeshua, I say, Yeshua, it's a waste of time. I say, you're God. And he tell me, no, bride. He say, I'm in the mood to argue today with them. And he say, I'll sit here and argue with it because I'm in the mood. And he argue with them and he tell them, I'm God. He say, I created all things. I do this, I do that, and I can do this and I do that. And if I tell you to do this, you will do this. And they will sit there and argue and talk trash to him. And he tell them, and when I cast you in the lake of fire, that you did to this person, that person, he said, I will torment you like this, with that, for attacking my sheep, for doing this, and I will do this and that, and I will make sure I will put you in the flames, and I will strip your being, and you will glow so hot. He threatened them. You guys, he fight on both sides of himself for you guys so big, you have no idea that, and he does it in the human way. He doesn't care. You guys are going to find out during the millennial reign that your God is human. And the side of him that you guys are not seeing, I see. And he said that he, even though during that time, will rule the earth with the iron fist in his kingdom, but he's also going to show his playful side with the sheep during that time. So with the sheep, they're going to see him on the human side, and on that side, he is so fun. He raps on that side. He sings, he weeps, he cries, and he argues with the entities, just like the human. You might have, you know how you'll see like somebody get into an argument on the humans, and they argue and they say stuff and they fuss and they just go back and forth. He does stuff like that behind the scenes. My goodness, he's so human and he's so down to earth. When you see him like this, you will let go and relax and think, I was too uptight. When I understood the word holy, I took it out of context and I put him in a box as though he couldn't move. And you will find that his definition of holy is holy, but it's a lot different than what we are doing. It is a cleanliness, but we are thinking that if you go be yourself and be human, that you can't be holy, and that's not true. You will see what holy means. He can argue and do all this stuff, and at the end of the day, guess what? He's still Yeshua. He's still holy. So he knows the deeper things that we don't, because he's God. He knows the beginning and the end. He sees all things because he can see everything, the bigger picture of all things. He knows what's going to happen to everything before you know, because he can see the whole picture. He's God. And he's always telling me stuff before I do it. And I end up sometimes falling on my face, and I say, oh my goodness, Yeshua, you told me that, you warned me of that before I did it. And so but you guys are going to love him when he sings and he dances. And when I tell you guys, Yeshua, the angels can dance, my goodness, they can rap, oh my goodness, and they can sing, they can dance, but my goodness, Yeshua can dance. You guys, Yeshua can dance. You wait till you guys see him. You will be surprised. You're going to love him during the millennial reign, because you're not going to be stiff, and you're going to let go and let him be himself. And that is what he told me. He was looking for someone to let go and let him be himself. With me, I just let go and let him be himself. And I like, because he lets me let go and be myself in his presence. And I love you, Yeshua. Oh, fanste bedo wichu bita kodi. Oh, fasto bajadi amu de kambadi kadi am born de veide so feo de bidi gidi. Oh, fasto bejoy da de kobi daddy on boos in bride of the jabaz de kodi diki on bedodi am boos de kid to be del de keldi on Joseph doors. I love you. On the doors the kettle and just the kediki, I'm the daughter the keys. I love you. I bought the kiddies, somebody darky, I'm bedoded to you. I'm the doors the cordy darky. I say to the jar the kiddies, I'm good to you. I bear the keys, do for the bar the cordy, I'm bedoded to you. I'm good to you. I know I am. I'm a good God, jabody the deeds, somebody darky. I'm good to you. Indeed. You badaki to me, you do for me, you the padas, you bo the cordy darky. I love you. I'm bold to cut the best so that the caddy to you. I'm best the caddy. I do for dotty darky. I'm bold and cutting, dotting, dorsing, decking. I'm bold the key. You are the daughter to you. I'm the daughter the cardy to you. I'm bold and I forged the betty the key on the daughter. I'm going to do something special fun to Bedidiki for you. I've watched those Bedidiki on Bedod and Dekidi you. I'm Bedidiki, the Umbadodity. I'm going to love you a new way, supported the keys. I've Jabidity key, the Kedidiki, Umbadodity, boss, the Cardidaki, Jabordity D's. You bedove the hop at the cars, the Ubadaki, the doors, the Korbidaki. I want the sheep to love me as me, the cool, the Cardidaki. The way I deal with you is different from how I deal with them, Bodidi keys to Kodidaki, but I still want them to let me be me. Understand the Buddha keys to Kodidaki. I am God, you are the sheep. I want you to let me be free to be human. Abodidaki, that you have not allowed me to be the Kodidis to Kodidaki. You have not allowed me, sheep, to be human, and that I'm going to show you in the future. Opadodidis. Better Delta the Kodidaki. You dove the Bodidaki. You bedoda the keys to Kopidati. Shapansa the keys to Kodidaki. Umbaz the Kodidaki. You both the Kodidaki. Days of dawn the Kodidaki. Sabecha Kadiz. You dos the Boda the Kodidaki. Anjabedikadiki the Fahabdada the keys to Kodiki Didiki to be D's to Kodidaki. You bedas to Kodidaki. You bedadadi you badadi head of the bells to Kodidaki. You done the Kopidari on Bosabi D Sabodidaki on Bodidiki Hanto Bay Sambada Sambo Johns the Kodidaki. When the sheep come to me the Kosot Jabedidaki. I want you to come to me and say to me, who is this? Why? Where? When? Who put the keys to Kodidaki? Tell me to Badadidi Yeshua Badat the cause to Kodidaki. Why? When? Where? Who? Did she? Who? Ambati cons to Kodidaki. See me, door for the keys that day to Bodidaki. Understand the ones that laughed, the ones that mocked. She spoke, I say. I'm both the Kardidaki, I'm Yahweh, board the Kadish, the Bedor the Kardidaki. I'm Yahweh, I'm board the Kardidaki, I'm better the Keto, the Koda, the Saint, the Beta, the Old, the Bind, awesome bride, I'm in love with you, all but the cause. I'm bored the Kardidaki, I'm Bell the Kelly, I'm bored the Kadidiki, I'm bored the Kardidaki, I'm Bedor the Seed, the Bonda, Fonsa, the Bedidaki. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. Oh, Bedidaki. I want you to let them see me the right way. Let them be them, you be you, and we will come together as one. On Judgment Day, many will fall. On Judgment Day, many will see. On Judgment Day, they will know who you are, and they will understand I made you, and you are mine, to Korpidadity.